What is up, people of the world, people of the universe, people of the place where I hate to go out into and associate with people from that place? How are you all? Oh, goodness me. Still waiting for my plants to pop. Not seeing anything yet. And keeping them nice and moist. I watch these motherfuckers so closely. I know when it's like poking up through the soil. Like when my seedlings just literally, I check on them several times a day. Like as soon as I wake up, I check on them, spray them down, check on them at least 2 or 3 times throughout the day. Make sure the topsoil stays nice and moist so the seed doesn't get dry. Yeah, buddy. I don't know why everybody's insistent on germinating in a paper towel. Yeah, guaranteed. Well, not really guaranteed anything. I don't know. I don't know why people are so gung-ho on the paper towel technique. So I've honestly had more failures with the paper towel than I have with just dropping it in the soil. As long as you keep it moist. That's the same issue with the paper towel. You have to moisten it. A paper towel is a little easier, I guess, because you can like soak it. The dirt, you kind of have to work with it. Anyway, picked up some new dabs this evening. And actually, new dabs and new strains. Haven't had any of these before. So, let's see what I got on the menu. I didn't grab any RSO or any weed. RSO was pretty much the normal price. I went to the Apothecarium instead of Grow West. Just ended up getting a little bit better of a deal at the Apothecarium. I could have actually ended up with an extra ½ gram more than I have. So instead of getting 6.5 grams, I could have bought 7 grams, 2/8. But I wanted to try these 2 strains from Cookies that I haven't had before. So I skipped over the 1/8 of Runt, because I've had Sun Meds Runts 1,000 different times. And we've got Big Apple by Cookies, Mexican Flan by Cookies, an 1/8 of Fruity Gum Hazy Kush, and that's what we're working with this evening. Oh, and another gram of what's that other shit? Fruity Gum. No, wait. This is Fruity Gum Hazy Kush. That was fuck. And the name's not on the thing. Oh, Grateful Pie. That's what that one is. Grateful Pie. So, I'm going to start out with the Mexican food. I know what the Grateful Pie is. Grow West has Grateful Pie. It's nothing to scoff at, for sure. Actually, Grateful Pie was one of the several strains that I purchased from Grow West all the time prior to legalization, prior to full legalization. That I was getting all those real cheap weeds. Real cheap weeds. Fuck me. I was getting all that real cheap weed. Like the fucking $90 half ounces and sometimes $10 eighths. Shit like that. That was one of the strains with Grateful Pie. They had on deck often. And I keep saying they don't have it anymore, but I honestly have not looked at the recreational menu because I never use it. There's like no reason for me to look at it. Well, there is reason, because then I would be more knowledgeable and actually be able to spit some more facts, but I'm never going to go in and buy weed recreationally unless it's cheap. Like, I've got $8 bag of weed the other day. I don't mind doing that. That don't bother me. But I will not pay $50 for an 1/8 of industry cannabis for several reasons. One of those reasons being that they make an absurd amount of fucking money off of it, and crazy that a company making millions is charging the same price that those who created the market were charging on the street. Kind of funny. Also, here in Maryland, they are the equity lotteries in full sway. So 1,720, I believe, was the final number. We'll say 1,700, so I don't want to be too far off. So 1,700 submissions, 200 and some denials. So 1,515 applications accepted, which means 1,515 people, 3/4 of them, I'm just going out on a limb, I don't know the exact who applied for what. I would imagine micro licenses were applied for more than the full licenses, but the way I did the math was to just make it fair. 3/4 of the licenses are full licenses, essentially, and the other quarter is micro. And that's how I figured it up. I'm just going under the presumption that 3/4 of the people, even though, like I said, might end up where a little bit more is applying for micro, whatever. When you figure up the math, and the way I just described, with 3/4 applying for full, the other micro, you get $9 million that they have made just off of entry fees. Not of people getting their licenses, just for people to get the ability to submit their paperwork and submit all their application information to the state, and for the state to review that information and tell them whether they are eligible finally for one of the 86 licenses available for the 1,515 individuals who submitted to the social equity lottery. But remember, that's supposed to be the lottery for the disproportionately affected individuals, those people who were so negatively impacted by cannabis prohibition. Yet, it's funny because the average salary of an individual in Maryland is about $50,000. Yet they're asking $50,000 for the license. So you tell me, what disproportionately affected OG from downtown Baltimore do you know? Maybe one or two are actually legitimate OGs who made their money in the business and now is taking it legal. Most of them are simply rich people, and that's what it is. That's if you don't have the money, you're not playing. You're not getting involved without $1 million in your pocket. Now, yes, they're going to have a few people, a few examples that they can hold up in the spotlight and say, look what we've done. Look at what we have accomplished. Yet, in reality, you still have a 75% white market, the entirety of it being controlled. You can say that you're employing black entrepreneurs in the state of Maryland, but those black entrepreneurs are being controlled by a white industrial complex. Okay? And I'm not sitting here bitching about this in support of social equity. And that's where people, I don't know, people go off board and misunderstand it. I don't have to hate it. I don't have to love it. I can be middle ground. Like I understand that the minority populations were, to an extent, disproportionately affected by cannabis prohibition. However, you also have to take into account the fact that, for example, in Baltimore, it at one point was the deletion capital of the United States. It is the heroin capital of the United States. Violent crime is ridiculous there. I mean, what was it? 14 to every 1,000 in Baltimore, in a county right next door, 3 to every 1,000 in violent crime. That's the violent crime stat. 14 for every 1,000 versus 3 to every 1,000. When you have that amount of crime, naturally, when cannabis is threaded throughout the criminal underworld, it's literally part of any illegal activity. It's like the introduction to any illicit activities, like hit this fucking bowl. So, yeah. I lost track of my thought. Anyway, I'm going to take a hit of this dog. I might remember here in a second. I know I was on the roll there saying something. I can't believe I do that. I did. Oh, it drives me crazy. Like I said, it's only my like immediate short-term memory. I don't know if it's that I'm forgetting so much as that my thought pattern is so fucking sporadic, and I just one thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and then I get talking about 10 different fucking things related to the same subject. Anyway, we're gonna hit this fucking. First time I've tried this. Is this the Big Apple or the Mexican flan? This is Mexican flan. I'll go over the profile here in just a second, but honestly, it looks exactly how SunMed shit looks sometimes. I guess probably the type of machine they're using to get it from the machine into the puck. I don't know. Looks like it's like a squirter, some kind of excreter. Cheers. That's very, very nice. Not too earthy, nice and fruity, even on the XL. And if I recall, that's trans caryophyllene in that. It is. I know it is. Trans caryophyllene. Not too much of a burn. And doesn't have that ucky indica XL. I said it was indica. But we'll take a look at the profile in just a second. Oh yeah, that's very strong. That's very strong. That is not for the weak. That, yeah, definitely not. Very calming, very relaxing. Maybe a tingle of headiness, but not very much in the body. Very similar to Apple Earth, the way it kicked. I think the Apple Earth had a little bit more of a psychoactive, heady, sativa vibe to it. A little more. And it's a 70-30. Which, by the way, I went to get my draft, my Apple Earth review, and it was gone. And then I posted on my locals, I was like, well, my draft is gone. Don't know where the hell that went. So there went 15,000 word or more, several hours of work. But for some reason it popped back up again when I reloaded it. So that's really fucking good because that used to happen to me all the fucking time when I was making the videos, like when I was making full-length videos. I'm going to start making more videos. I don't know. I've had a weird slump lately. Anyways, when I would make the video, I'd fucking edit the goddamn thing and have like 3 or 4 days worth of fucking editing into it. Because when you're editing on your phone, it's not the same as doing it on a computer. When you have an Android phone and you have to delete one application just to download the next application, it gets kind of complicated. Like, there was one point when the memory in my phone was full. I couldn't get any more memory for some reason. I can't remember. I couldn't delete anything. I needed all the shit that was there. And the shit I had to do to manipulate, like, okay, so you download one program, you edit your video in there. And once you got the video edited, then you can delete the original file and hope that, you know what I mean, everything, you got that there. So save that so that if you need to go in and extend out to the original again, you have that. and then delete the original. So then you have room to now edit that file and add the editing into it, then save that file, delete that program, download the next program to, because I would use 3 or 4 editing software for a video, because I don't pay for them typically, so I bounce around to the different ones to use the free software. And they change, like software companies, they'll like run a beta trial, for example, and they'll see who or which edits, or whatever you want to call them, the additions, the add-ins, which transitions, things like that are being utilized the most. So they'll give you access to like all of them. And then a few months in, they'll limit the access to the ones that are used the most. So like my favorite transitions on Video Maker, I think is just the name of the app, Video Maker. I can't get to them anymore. So I've started using other applications that substitute and shit like that. So once you get done editing that, then you need an application for the starter, like your beginning reel and end, like the starting video and ending video. You got to make those in a separate program and then import them into some, like a lot of big YouTubers have those. Just, I think most of them have editors now, but many of the big YouTubers. How did I just lose that thought? Editors. Editing. Oh, they'll just save their intro video and exit video. That's what I was on, the intro and exit videos. So, make your intro and exit video, which oftentimes I have like a logo or some shit I want to pull out of the air, add in something. So then there's also PixArt, which I have to like use and manipulate in between. So say I like add in a picture or some shit. Like, I don't like putting like square blanks into the fucking file because people know how much work you put into shit. So I crop it and edit it and cut it out properly and shit with PixArt. But again, another application that I have to download and delete, download and delete. It takes a while to do those fucking videos. I enjoy it. I like making them because I like the end result. I like the, even if they don't get a ton of views, I like getting my logic and thought out for people to at least see if they want to see it. Ideally, to further discussion and get people to, you know, only one person, I think like me. Other people can look at my stuff and think not like me. So, yeah. Anyway, this, I separated some of it out, but this is the fruity gum hazy kush. I haven't had any of these. However, what I will say is, once again, hazy kush. Now, I've seen that in another company in the parent genetics of the strain that I just recently went through. And I will specifically figure out which one that was, but I do recall I was recently on specifically haze kush. Haze kush, not hazy kush, but I know it's almost inevitable that haze kush, or haze, that's what it was, haze cannabis. There was a strain I was studying that I had to look up the genetics of haze. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. There's a line being connected to that in my head. And what I've mentioned several times about the companies, it seems like there's no way they're competing. There's so many genetics on the market. How are all of these companies ending up with the same shit at the same time? Just a little different. Like, I know that the main strains, I'm not talking about like gelato or blah, 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 like the big strains on the market, GMO, gelato, Gorilla Glue. Everybody fucking has those. I'm talking about the unique strains. Like the shit that there has to be some sort of central pull. I don't know. I don't even know if it's a secret. Maybe they tell everybody. I don't know. Maybe it's like one of their MCA meeting things. I fucking don't know. But I would like to know what that is, because I know I see it. I know I see that the genetics and the companies are, it's the same shit. It's like they're starting with, it's like they give them the option to pick from these genetics, and they're starting with mostly the same thing, and then like one of the plants is different, so they like slightly diverge, but not so much that you can't see it if you study and pay attention to when the strains are coming out. And you don't even really have to pay much attention. I mean, just buy different shit and look it up and study it, and you see it. It's not conspiracy or anything. Maybe it's got like a, I don't know, maybe there's some market fucking reason. I don't know. They're the smart people, right? Like Mackie Bark says. We don't know how to run a business. We just fuck things up. That's why they let the billionaires make the rules for the entrepreneurs. It's like the fucking fact that you can only sell so much, you can only grow so much. They determine how much that is and what space you can have to grow that. All of these things. I'm sure they even went so far as to address how many plants you can have within that amount of space, so that you can't, like, you know, go vertical or something like that. Which I'm sure they would fucking utilize that if they could. And they probably do. They probably would, and then tell you that you could not. I mean, they take control of loose concentrate for absolutely no reason. They're like, hey guys, if you want to be a processor, you can make distillate, you know, like the hardest thing to get fucking stabilized and to make. You can do that, but not resin and, oh yeah, the stuff most people want to get now, right? Yeah, you can't have, no, just distillate. And loose, yeah, you can't have loose concentrate. That 20% of the market, we're going to hold on to that. But you guys can sell weed. You can, as much as we tell you, you can sell and have. I mean, it's plenty. It's plenty. You can sell weed. You can make edibles. You just got to abide by all the Maryland guidelines for the, you know, health and safety for food production and all of these other things. So it's indeed not a competition. I mean, the industry was correct, right? They're not out to make, they don't want to compete against entrepreneurs. They want to control them. Hey. Hi, Choppy, how are you? Daddy's taking a nap at you. You want to say hi to the camera? Come here, Bubba. Come here. Come say hi. This is the fucking fruity gum stuff from Sunmid. It is very, very fruity. It's definitely the most sativa-y one that I bought. Very, very vibrant. Most hybridized, I guess I should say. Oh, lots of terpinolene. Ooh, terpinolene a lot. Woo! Lots of berry terpinolene in that. Woo! Very much like Snoop Dogg OG or, yeah. Definitely called that on the sativa and plant and influence and plant influx influence. That's seriously one reason why I sometimes get off track. That's how my brain does. Like if I'm searching for a word or something, I'll go through and I'll be like, wait, I like thinking about how people think. I'm weird. I like analyzing shit. I like understanding shit. I like digging deep. I always made my math teacher. I always irritated my math teachers, and not on purpose because I love math. Like I really do like mathematics. But I would always ask why. Because there's a reason why. Like math is based on observation of nature and describes nature because it's based off of observation of nature. So there's a reason why. It's not just because. Oh, I never liked that when the teachers and why? Why is that? Just because. Well, I honestly liked algebra more than arithmetic because, like, arithmetic, it's like, well, because it is. Because that's what it is. There really is reason, but very complicated. At least for the elementary school kid learning arithmetic. But I liked algebra because there was, like, proofs and, like, therefore statements and geometry. You know what I mean? Like, there's reason why. Like, I can understand that. I see it. Like, the ground meets the tree. That is a 90-degree angle. The tree is a straight line. I'll talk about that in that one video. The ancient Greeks, how mathematics, like none of the patterns that you see in mathematics, for example, and I argue anyway, that the patterns that you find, like Tesla's triangle and the pattern with primes where you can do the unicursal thing, all those patterns, none of those are arbitrary. And they really do correlate to like spiritual stuff, like the tree of life and things like that. Like, and not the Viking tree of life. And when I say the tree of life in that context, I'm speaking about the Hebrew tree of life, the Jewish tree of life, that thing. Is there a name for that? Just the tree of life? There's probably a name in Jewish speak. That is definitely a lot more sativa and on that fucking stuff. Probably still stony as fuck, but it's definitely got a little bit of jitteriness to it. Seriously, some sativas get me more ampy and like jittery and wiry and weird than like what I would imagine bad hard stuff. Like I don't know, meth or some shit like that. Like I've never done that. So I don't know. I guess that's what that would feel like, where you're like all weird. I definitely prefer indica. One of my box is always full of indica. I don't like the sativa leans. Like I honestly, I don't know when the last time I bought like a hard sativa. Like I bought Durban Poison because I like that one. Like it's not fucking super freaky outy. It's one of the reasons I say it's a unique profile. But anyway, I like Durban Poison and like Blue Dream. That's a good one. That's like got a lot of sedative influence. It's very sedating and heavy. Beta carotene. Yes, my fingernails are dirty as fuck. I've been digging in my plants for the past 2 days and have not cleaned them yet. Fire me. Glad my lady's cooperating, so you know. wonder if Girl West has any more of those $25 grams of RSO. Yeah, and when I called Girl West, that's another thing too that I wanted to mention. I called Girl West, and I don't mind sitting on the phone. When they answer the phone, they're polite. Like, it's nice to hear a nice voice when you've been sitting there for 6 minutes listening to the same music that repeats every 15 seconds, 30 seconds. So, I asked her a question. She answered my question, and then I was trying to think for 1 second to, like, through the menu for, like, probably 3-4 seconds through it. And she's like, "Was that everything you need?" And it was, like, very rushy. And, like, you could tell she was just either trying to get off the phone or answer another call, which maybe she was really busy, but it was just very rushy. And I just got off the phone. So, no, that's okay. Have a good day. She wasn't rude. Her mean. I said maybe she was just busy, but it just came across very, like, even my girlfriend looked at me like, it's all good, it's not a big deal. I just, at the time, I was trying to think and figure out what the fuck I wanted to get, and she was in such a rush, and I knew I had to get several things off the menu, so I was just like, hey, never mind, I'll check the other place. Which I've done the same thing for the other place, so check there and they haven't had something, or something happened, so I went to the other Girl West. That's a good thing about having 2 dispensaries in your hometown. Yep. There was a lot of people there at Allegheny today, though. Like, it was busy. Not like out the door busy or anything, but like, it was steady. Like the recreational line, like there was medicinal people trickling in. Yeah. They have 8 or 9 registers. And like, when I say registers, I don't know how many money drawers they have, but they have, I mean, like spots where you go to buy your stuff. Bud tenders. They have like 8 or 9 bud tenders in there. I don't know how many drawers they have or whatever. Yeah. I only said that because I said cashiers. You might have misread that. That sounded kind of weird. I'm not a robber person or anything. Wow, that stuff is very, very strong. That's the strongest stuff I've hit yet. Or maybe I'm just way high right now. That is very, very strong stuff. 87.31% cannabinoids, 8.21% terps. That's the big apple. So strong. Very nice. I'm gonna post some close-up pictures of this stuff. I posted one of them. I'm gonna post them all together, and I'm like, no, fuck it, I'll spread them out. I'm gonna take some real good shots. See if I can get, like, I don't know how good a quality shots I can get with this camera that I have on this phone. I know they can't be super fucking good. I play with the lighting the right way. Work with what I got. Make videos on cell phone. I'm just saying, I have an Android. It's not a super expensive Android. And iPhones, they have like a lot of, it's like a little computer. I mean, Android is too, but there are a lot of drawbacks to having an Android versus an iPhone, in my opinion. Especially like, well, you could say security-wise, but then again, who's providing the security on iPhone? So, that is the company that makes the phone, right? Microsoft, or Apple. Apple or Microsoft? Is Apple owned by Microsoft? I think it is. They're making competitors. Apple, Mac, Microsoft. Yeah, no, I'm retarded. Excuse me. Yes, I'm a millennial. Once in a while, I may slip up and use the R slur. I don't like that one, I will admit. I have a very autistic stepdaughter. I never understood some of the slurs against like some of the hand gestures and things people used to do to insinuate that somebody was mentally impaired like that. Or whatever the proper fucking public politically correct way to say that today is. I guess what would that be now? Like you have to spin it to make it sound like something positive. I don't even know what they would fucking call it now. Like I have no idea. Because everybody thinks they're autistic now, so like everybody's technically on the spectrum apparently, according to the new psychology and the new whatever. I went to college for psychology, and it wasn't like that when I went to college. Like I didn't learn that shit. I didn't learn the shit that they're learning now. And it's not just that they're like collecting together and talking about it outside of class. Like they're actively learning about it in class. And not everywhere, but where it's happening like rampantly. Because when it happens, you know what fucking flipped me out? This shit, man. I watched the thing. Cat Williams was talking to Joe Rogan, okay? And say what you want. Okay, I'm not for or against. I'm definitely not for the transgenders. All this fucking Sodom and Gomorrah stuff that's happening. And no, I'm not Christian, but this has turned into like Sodom and Gomorrah. Like America right now has turned into like a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. It's on its way there. Like the whole thing, and Cat Williams is right about this. Like I've studied the occult for as long as I've studied marijuana, honestly, since I was like 12, 13. And it really is like, it's thought of as myth or lore or whatever that witches would kiss the behind ring, to be appropriate, I guess, of Baphomet. Technically of Satan, but of the devil, but to sell their soul to the devil. That's how they had to sign the contract. It was a blood contract and then kissing the anus of Satan, right? And Cat Williams was saying how he predicted this a long time ago, that people would get into anal cunnilingus and transgenderism. And he's not wrong in that. I mean, when all this transgender shit started, what I immediately thought was Baphomet, right? Baphomet and androgyny. Like I don't think of it I don't think of it like a Christian does in a negative context. Like I don't know that I believe in Baphomet, but I understand those beliefs. Right? I understand like what Baphomet represents. I understand it represents androgyny. Although I am very, very interested in Luciferianism, of which Baphomet plays a role, or in which Baphomet plays. Anyway, Baphomet is the Sabbatic goat, also called that, if that makes any more sense. He's the goat that sits like this, and this, as above, so below. Like a lot of that shit is like repeating itself in culture. And the fact that they attempted to put the Baphomet, like I never even put this together. When I seen, like I knew about the fucking Baphomet statue thing, and when they did when all the statue shit was happening, and then it got to the fucking pinnacle when they were the Baphomet statue, and the Luciferian church, or no, the Temple of Satan, the Satanic Temple, TST, the Satanic Temple, took in a statue of Baphomet and tried to put it up. I can't remember where it was. But Baphomet is the Sabbatic goat. And all that shit, it is really crazy. And you really do see like the fucking celebrities be doing weird shit in the in games, like I don't know, like basketball games and shit. I don't watch many sports, but like I'm weird. I watch people and analyze shit, like I said. So when I do watch sports, like I look at the crowd a lot, and you see like I've seen rich people in the crowd like throwing up at a basketball game and shit. And I guess like when I was like 14 and 15, I used to do that all the time for a picture. But why, as a celebrity, would you like wait to, and how do they know that the camera's looking at them? I always wondered that too. How the fuck do people know that the camera's panned over to them? Like sometimes they're on the Megatron or whatever, the big screen or wherever it's at. But how the fuck do they know like? Because I mean, it looks like they pose for the camera, like the ones I remember seeing that I'm speaking about. I don't know who the fucking were, like I said, but I know they were rich people, famous people, because they were sitting around other famous people in the front where famous people sit. That's how a poor person describes that. Or, shouldn't even say poor person, I should say the average Appalachian person describes that. I think it's fucking hilarious that, like, I don't know. And the whole fucking social equity thing, all of it, it's all like centered and focused on down down east. It's like they don't give two fucks about up here. And Grow West isn't even on the list of participants in their little meetup that's coming up. Don't know why. The Apothecarium isn't either. I don't think. I don't think I've seen either of them there. They're fucking weird. It's like once you go down off the mountains, like into Hagerstown, everything's fucking different from that point on. It's like completely different. And there might be hills through there, but if you're up here, you know what the mountains are. I remember fucking Baltimore kids and shit coming up for college and getting up here their first winters. I think it snowed in Baltimore. Once in a while, they get like crazy stuff, but not like Garrett County crazy stuff. Especially where the college is at. It's right. It faces Kaiser's Ridge, which is like a very exposed ridge on the mountain up there, and like the wind blows in, and there's a lake very nearby. It's just a lot of factors that combine together to make it. You know where Garrett County is. You know. Actually, I seen one of my buddies from Garrett County talking earlier at the dispensary. I gotta get on my Facebook and fucking accept it. Yes, I said Facebook. Actually, speaking of social equity, he's one of the few black people in Maryland, or in Maryland, yeah, in Garrett County. There's not a lot of minorities in Garrett County. There's minorities in Garrett County, but especially up on the mountain where he lives at, it's I don't know if there's any black families that live up there at all, honestly. Not that they fucking couldn't or whatever, I just don't think there are any. None of his parents are step mom and dad. I don't know what his situation was exactly, but his family was always real cool to me. When I went there, I think it was his family. I don't know. We was eating with somebody down at the fucking home. It's one of those type of places. Down in the hall, whatever you want to call it. Where that was. It wasn't a holler. Like back in the fucking woods, but whatever. That's what's happening. Water is. That was an odd taste. Not bad. Different. Very unfiltered. Not like a steak though. I just heard something not sound very good. Not that I would have been crackage on that fucking every day. That damn thing. Water. There we go. That's better. Now when I open this and I want to twist this up, I heard that sound like glass trying to slowly snap. Right. See the smoke from it. I don't think the camera can catch it. Not really going to. Got a very unstable hand. Sorry. You can see it better with the light on. But my selfie light doesn't work. Holy shit, I'm really high. Oh man. Mexican flame, that's what that was. Jesus Christ. That's some crazy shit. I'm very high.